Welcome back to another video on the channel. Hope everyone is well. First off, just a huge thank you to anyone that tuned into my content throughout Wimbledon. It is greatly appreciated. Coming up on the channel, I will be covering Tennis Olympics, Cincinnati Open, US Open. I will also be flying out to Paris later this year to cover the Paris Masters and hopefully do a couple of videos out there. So if you would like to subscribe, it would be greatly appreciated and help my journey into tennis media. And also I'll be bringing lots of tournament coverage as well. So today's video, I'm going to be focusing on the men's 2024 Tennis Olympics. Alexander Zverev is defending champion. We have Jannik Sinner and Carlos Alcaraz playing their first ever Olympics. Rafael Nadal and Novak Djokovic probably playing in their final Olympics. And Andy Murray announcing this morning that this will be his last ever tournament, which is the end of what has been a fantastic era for Andy Murray. So the Olympics this year will be held in France. The tennis will be held in Paris at Roland Garros. It's a week-long event over 6 rounds, best of 3 set matches. So we've got many classic matches coming up, and it's a week that I'm thoroughly looking forward to. So the way I'm going to do this, I'm going to preview 5 players, have a look at their stats and how I think their 2024 has gone, before finally predicting who I think will win the bronze, silver and gold medal. Starting off with Novak Djokovic. Ranked number 2 in the world now, has won 19 clay court titles in his career. 24 majors. His best result at the Olympics was the bronze medal in 2008, and it's about the only record or title that Djokovic hasn't won throughout his illustrious career. I think in terms of talking points, this tournament could come too soon for Djokovic, and had he won a gold medal previously, I'm not sure he would even compete at this Olympics, because I do think he could do with a break after Wimbledon. We all know Djokovic has played nowhere near his best throughout 2024. He hadn't reached a final until Wimbledon, which is pretty much unheard of in his career. It looks now that he's been struggling with the knee issue for especially the majority 2024. He hasn't particularly moved well. He hasn't played well. Underwent that surgery after withdrawing from the French Open and seemed to move better and play a lot better at Wimbledon, which saw him reach the final, which I think was a fantastic achievement. Did obviously get dismantled by Alcaraz in straight sets in that final, which is never ideal for a player of his ability and record at Wimbledon. But I think when you consider he had surgery 5 weeks before, that it was just a hell of an achievement to even get that far. As I've said, to do that and then transform back onto clay a couple of weeks after the Wimbledon final is very, very difficult. And had he won a gold medal in the past, I don't think Djokovic would be playing this event, but he's desperate to get that final piece of the jigsaw and finish his career in style by winning an Olympic gold medal. My worry is the knee. I do think he'll move better over time after the knee surgery, but he could probably do with a break after Wimbledon and not going straight onto a difficult surface in clay. Moving on now to Jannik Sinner, ranked number 1 in the world, has won a clay court title in the past, just the one. Obviously won his maiden Grand Slam title early this year at the Australian Open, and has since struggled with a couple of issues, once with his hip and with sickness at Wimbledon. But at the start this year, Jannik Sinner was by far and away the best player in the world. You know, he was 22 in 1 win record. He won 3 titles very early in the year, including that Australian Open. It wasn't until he got on the clay where he was forced to withdraw in Madrid before missing Rome, struggling with his hip in the Roland Garros semi-final against Alcaraz. And it's a shame that Sinner suffered that hip injury, because I felt like he could have potentially dominated the clay season as well with how he was playing. And thankfully at Wimbledon, it looked like he got over the hip injury. It didn't look like it caused him any problems at all. And against Medvedev, when he got knocked out, I think he just looked ill more than anything. He looked very white in his face. He struggled with his breathing. He looked very hot, disengaged at times, and I just don't think he was able to completely hit through the ball and concentrate and dictate points as he would like. And that saw him exit the Wimbledon. But one thing in Sinner's favour is he has had less match time than the likes of Carlos Alcaraz and Alexander Zverev recently. And I feel like this could be the time that Jannik Sinner gets back in the winning trail. He's a very good clay court player. He had an excellent start of 2024. He's ranked number 1 in the world, and I feel like his season's slightly derailed due to injury, but he does seem to have got over that hip injury and maybe could get redemption back on clay at the 2024 Paris Olympics. Moving on now to Carlos Alcaraz, who is the man to beat at the moment. Won back-to-back majors at the French and Wimbledon. Already won 7 clay court titles at 21 years old. Obviously never competed at the Olympics before, far too young for that. But to achieve the Roland Garros and Wimbledon double is an exceptional feat in this day and age, and at the age he is. He's such an incredible ambassador for the sport on and off the court. And what really impresses me most about Alcaraz is his all-round game. His forehand is an absolutely huge weapon. When he's serving well, it allows him to dictate points and really step inside the baseline and unleash devastating ground strokes or forehand or backhand. His backhand variety, whether he's taking pace off with the slice or generating such incredible pace in the back of the court. His hands around the net, his creativity, his entertainment factor, his way he just smiles and entertains the crowd, his mentality of playing his best tennis in the biggest moments, how battle-hardened he is, how much he wants to win, the fight, his passion. Every aspect of Carlos Alcaraz's game is just exceptional. And for me, he's the best 21-year-old the sport has ever seen. And at the moment, it's very difficult to see him be beaten, especially at Grand Slams over best-of-5 set matches. We saw Ugo Humbert, Francis Tiafoe, Daniel Medvedev go ahead against Alcaraz, but when he problem solves, when he has to dig in, when he plays his best tennis, he's unstoppable. And for me, the questions around this French Open are, will his fitness hold up? He's a very young player, and to do back-to-back French Open and Wimbledon, he probably could have done with a break. But of course, he's going to play the Olympics, and of course, he believes he can win every, title at the moment. So he was never going to turn down the opportunity to represent Spain and try and win his first ever gold medal. But it will be very taxing on his body to transform back into clay after going so deep in Grand Slams. But he's certainly riding a wave, and the momentum and the adrenaline will probably pull him through. And I do also feel that 3 sets gives better opportunities to other players to beat him. As I've said, we saw Tiafoe lead Alcaraz 2-1. We saw Ugo Humbert rattle off 5 or 6 consecutive games against him. Obviously, Daniel Medvedev won the first set in the semi-final. And you feel like if someone can play lights-out tennis against Alcaraz, and Alcaraz has the lapses in concentration that we so often see, then they could get over the line. But the longer matches go, the more it favours Carlos Alcaraz. But at the moment, he is, in my opinion, the best player in the world. He's the man to beat. He's got all the, pressure on his shoulders of people wanting to beat him now. But he seems to take it all in his stride, and he's such an outstanding talent that there's no faults in his game at all. And I think if his body holds up, then he's going to go very deep at the Olympics again. Moving on, Alexander Zverev now, who is the defending singles champion at the Olympics, winning gold in 2020 in Tokyo. 27 years old now, is a very, very strong clay court player. As you can see there, won 7 clay court titles, is yet to register a Grand Slam win. Obviously, we've seen him in 2 finals, but is yet to get over the line yet at a major. Zverev, he's the best player on clay in the whole of 2024. Winning in Rome, I was lucky enough to go out to Rome this year and watch him, and he was absolutely exceptional out there. I felt from the second or third round when I watched him that his name was in the trophy. He was playing at such a high level, serving fantastically well. His backhand was barely missing. In extended rallies, I think he's really worked on his patience and his defence and his ability to just dominate from deep. And in brutal exchanges, he's very, very strong now, Alexander Zverev, and that's seen him really progress and improve his results on clay. And I think one advantage he's really got is that he's had a clay court tournament after Wimbledon. He reached the final in Hamburg that he lost to Arthur Fils in what was a very feisty and competitive when he looks to defend his title. But so far, he's had the best result of the year on clay, and I'm sure he's coming here with huge confidence and with the pressure on his back of wanting to defend his gold medal. But he may be able to do it with his form so far in 2024. Final player, you can't talk about a clay court tournament and not mention Rafael Nadal. And when I do my research for these videos, you obviously know, being a tennis fan, how successful Rafa is on clay. But to see those numbers written down, 63 clay court titles, is absolutely ridiculous, really. Some players don't win any titles in their whole career, and they're very good players. So for Rafa to win 63 on one surface in a season that's pretty short is an absurd feat. And, winning 14 French Opens, which contribute to those 2020 Grand Slam titles. Rafa has already won a gold medal in the singles in 2008. And he's back at Roland Garros. And you feel like this could be fate. It could just be meant to be. It's going to be Nadal's final Olympics without a doubt. It's in France, back at Roland Garros. Is it meant to be for Rafa to go with one final farewell on Roland at Chatrier and winning another gold medal? Well, time will tell, but it would be a fantastic achievement and a great sight for the sport, in my opinion. He did reach the Swedish Open final last week, lost in the final to Nuno Borges, but I think that was a really good week for Rafa. I think the question with Rafa is, can his body hold up after long matches? And he played many grueling points and many grueling matches. I watched some of Rafa's matches, and it was a very slow court, and some of the volleys were going 30 plus shots, and he played 1 4-hour match for a 3-setter, and he recovered pretty well, although he didn't perform at his best in the final. I think that was to be expected, but I think it'll give him some trust in his body and some confidence, and he can definitely go into this tournament with some expectation and some confidence that he can go deep, with it being at Roland Garros. And the 3 sets format definitely suits Rafa now. If you were going 5 against the likes of Zverev and Sinner and Alcaraz, they would definitely have the fitness advantage being much younger players. But there's no reason why Rafa can't turn it on for 2 or 3 hours on Chatrier and beat anybody on his day. So in terms of a final prediction now, I'm going to go with Carlos Alcaraz to pick up the bronze medal. I think he's had, as I've said, an incredible year, but I fear this tournament might come too soon for him. Going back to the French Open and Wimbledon will surely take a lot out of him physically and mentally. I'm not sure he'll perform his absolute best, but it will still take a special performance to beat him. Silver medal, I'm going to go Jannik Sinner. I think Sinner started 2024 absolutely brilliant, was playing the best tennis of his life, was playing the best tennis in the world. Saw him win 3 titles, including that maiden major title. I think Sinner probably would have won the French Open had he stayed completely fit. I feel that he was playing better in that semi-final against Alcaraz before his body gave up on him and he began to cramp and be in pain. That's when Alcaraz really took over. But I think Sinner can get some redemption on the clay now. He's back to full fitness. Hopefully he's over for the sickness issue at Wimbledon. And I think he'll go very, very close, but lose out to Alexander Zverev. And I'm just going to pick Zverev. I think he's, because he's defending champion, I think that does motivate you to want to win gold again. And the way I saw him play in Rome on clay was very, very impressive. He had a fantastic clay court season, winning in Rome, getting to the final Roland Garros. I think, Zverev, although he hasn't won a major, he's becoming more and more consistent as each year passes. He's serving fantastically well. The backhand looks great. The knee, although it is a slight issue, it didn't seem to be too bad. It didn't hamper him too much in that final in Hamburg from what I saw. So I'm going to go with Alexander Zverev to pick up another gold medal. But this is a fantastic week for the sport. When the Olympics come round, it's a real highlight of all sporting calendars. I will be covering the tournament throughout, probably from the quarterfinal stage. I'll do full previews and predictions of the matches once we know the draws and everything, because they aren't out until Friday, I believe. So thank you so much for watching another video. If you would like to like the video and subscribe, that would be greatly appreciated. I do this YouTube channel to hopefully work in tennis media one day, and you can see some of the events that I'll be covering as well later on this year. So thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next video.